DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients? Will that really happen?
It's sitting.
We are the federal law. Well, you better do it. You better do it because you're not going to get any federal funding at all if you don't. And by the way, you
look at this. Pam Bondi asked about the Epstein files. She said, the Epstein files are on my desk. I remember asking Donald Trump about this back in the summertime. I asked him if he was going to release all of these files. Do we have that video, guys? Have lost a lot of trust in institutions, and I think there's been a lot of discussion, especially online and especially with young people. How do we rebuild that trust in institutions? The CIA, the FBI, all those institutions.
You're right.
Some people think that one way to build trust is to declassify things that everyone's talking about. I know you talked earlier about, I don't want to be a conspiracy theorist. So if you were president, would you declassify, you can answer yes or no to these, would you declassify the 9/11 files?
Yeah.
Would you declassify JFK files?
Yeah. I did a lot of it.
Would you declassify the Epstein files?
Yeah, I would.
All right.
I guess I would. I think that less so because, you don't know. You don't want to affect people's lives if it's phony stuff in there because there's a lot of phony stuff with that whole world. But I think I would, or at least
Do you think that would restore trust? Help restore trust?
Yeah, I don't know about Epstein so much as I do the others. Certainly about the way he died. It would be interesting to find out what happened there because that was a weird situation and the cameras didn't happen to be working, et cetera, et cetera. But yeah, I'd go a long way toward that one.
Great questions.
Yeah, it's tough.
You press them, and now we've got Attorney General Pam Bondi talking yesterday about what she plans to do with these files now sitting on her desk. Here's what she says.
This is something Donald Trump has talked about. The DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review. That's been a directive by President Trump. I'm reviewing that. I'm reviewing JFK files, MLK files. That's all in the process of being reviewed because that was done at the directive of the president from all of these agencies.
So have you seen anything that you said, oh my gosh?
Not yet.
That I think you spurned that to happen, and now Pam Bondi's being pretty specific that she's reviewing it, so that's not clear that we're getting all of it. But it's not just Epstein; it's Epstein, MLK, JFK, and all of these things.
Look, the Epstein stuff is serious stuff.
It is.
We're talking about children. We're talking about sexual abuse.
Absolutely. And remember, we're talking about a number of different potential crime scenes and videos that have been collected. One of the big differences, I think, now compared to the past 4 years is now there seems to be a real aggressive action toward transparency, as we've been talking about all morning long. I do want to know where those tapes went. I do want to know what happened out in New Mexico. I would like to know, are there other women and children who've been impacted, for example, by this Epstein, not just by Jeffrey Epstein himself, but also by Ghislaine Maxwell and by others who may or may not have been party to these circumstances on the east side of New York. So I think transparency, sunlight, what they say is the best disinfectant.
It's the best disinfectant. Let me tell you why I think this is important. I think it's important because we have a generation of young people who have been through the lies of COVID that deeply impacted them, have seen all of these things transpire that we've been talking about, but at very formative ages. And this is their chance to believe that their government is honest again.
Amen.
I think if these are not released in their entirety, and if this promise is not kept, and by the way, I believe President Trump is going to keep this promise, but I think this is about restoring trust for young people in democracy.
Yeah,
I think it's wildly important.
We've had these drones, and we've talked about here on the couch and elsewhere, these mysterious drones everywhere in the Biden administration, stonewalled. Trump administration comes in right away. It's like, okay, here's what that was.
Yeah.
But it's like, why was that so hard?
And
you have a great point, too, with young viewers. This is about the erosion of trust with young people and their government. And that's not a good thing. That needs to be reversed. And I think transparency, they can see tangible transparency when they're looking into whether it's Epstein or RFK or JFK. They're like, okay, now I can see it. Now I can see it for myself. I can read it. And therefore, you're reading sources.
There's a reason for government to have some secrets, but a lot of this is just about protecting powerful people. And this is a chance to reverse that. So
2 weeks ago, I signed an executive order banning men from playing in women's sports. Many Democrats are fighting me on that. I hope you continue because you'll never win another race. And it's just crazy. If you look at what happened with the boxing, if you look at what happened with the weightlifting numbers, where a record that hadn't been broken for 19 years got shattered. But, they put up an eighth of an ounce here, an eighth of an ounce there, and it's 218 pounds or whatever, a lot. And hadn't been broken in 19 years. And then guy walks up who transitioned. He transitioned. And he knocked out that record by about 100 pounds. That will be a record not going to be broken again in a long. So we put a ban on it, and to protect women. I mean, the women. If you watch the Olympics, you had two transitioned people that were fighting in the women's boxing. They have women's boxing category. And if you saw that, it was brutal. What happened to the Italian woman was a really good boxer. After one punch, she said, no more. I've never been hit. It was a left. It was not even it was just a left jab. She got hit so hard, she said, I can't do it. They forced her to go out. No, go out again. You'll do it. Goes out again, gets hit again. No, that's it. She didn't want to die. And it's crazy, but the NCAA has complied immediately, by the way. That's good. But I understand Maine. Is the Maine here, the governor of Maine?
Well, I'm here.
Are you not going to comply with it?
I'm complying with state and federal laws.
We are the federal law. Well, you better do it. You better do it, because you're not going to get any federal funding at all if you don't. And by the way, your population, even though it's somewhat liberal, although I did very well there, your population doesn't want men playing in women's sports. So you better comply, because otherwise you're not getting any federal funding.
See you in court.
Every state, good, I'll see you in court. I look forward to that. That should be a real easy one. And enjoy your life after governor, because I don't think you'll be in elected politics.
I do solemnly swear
I, Kash Patel, do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
that I take this obligation freely,
that I take this obligation freely,
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully
and that I will well and faithfully
discharge the duties of the office on which I am about to enter.
discharge the duties of the office of which I am about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me.
Wow. First and foremost, we were just with President Trump, and I just want to thank him. I know he's not here in the room right now, but what a ride we have been on, what a courageous warrior and leader he has been, and the faith and trust he has put in me to lead the FBI is the greatest honor that I'll ever have in my life. And to General Bondi, that sounds pretty freaking cool. Pam, you're my sister, you're my mentor, you're my friend. You're my boss, and the confidence you have placed in me, I will never violate that trust. The men and women of the FBI will be led under your leadership through one standard, the Constitution. So thank you for entrusting me, Pam. Oh man, this is effing crazy. So obviously, you don't get here alone. You know, I'm here because of God. I'm here because of my family, and I'm here because of my friends. And you're literally in this room because you made it happen. My sister, Nisha, and my nephew, Aryan, flew in from London just to be here. My beautiful girlfriend, Alexis, is here. Yes, I agree. My aunts and uncles are here. They've come from all over the country. I am living the American dream. And anyone that thinks the American dream is dead, just look right here. You're talking to a first-generation Indian kid